Welcome everyone to Screams After Midnight. It's the Christmas season. I am Peter, and joining me as always is Tim.
Ho ho ho. Now I've watched a movie.
That was terrible. This is a horror movie podcast, and it's December.
I know, I should have referenced something that was a Christmas movie. I apologize.
Oh, how dare you. Die Hard's a Christmas movie. You shut your filthy mouth. It's December, and as tradition on the show, we spend December, up, at least in the weeks before Christmas, working through some Christmas horror movies. And today we have a sequel to a film we did, I think, 2 years ago? Maybe 3 years ago now? But we did Jack Frost, not the 1998 Michael Keaton film, which is not a horror film, which everyone always confuses with the actual proper Jack Frost, which is the 1997 Killer Snowman movie, starring most notably Shannon Elizabeth from American Pie.
Starring, sure.
She was there. Look, anyone our age probably remembers her boobs from American Pie, so she sticks out the most in Jack Frost. Sure. She was also in... What else was she in that we did? 13 Ghosts. She was in
13 Ghosts?
Yeah, there you go. Clearly she fell off the face of the earth after about 2002, because I don't know if she was in anything after that, but there was a little window in time there where she was in a few things. I think she showed up in the Jay and Silent Bob reboot. Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because she was in Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back. So.
Oh, wow. Because the reboot was one they did like a year ago or two.
Yeah. But they brought like a lot of characters back.
Ah, okay. So she was in Strikes Back, and then she came back for the reboot. Okay. I get you. So that brought her back somehow.
Yeah, she's back in the public consciousness. So who knows? Jack Frost 3, maybe they're having talks. I don't know.
Well, the end of this does actually kind of imply a Jack Frost 3. The director always wanted to make a third one. We'll talk about that.
He couldn't raise the $112 that he needed.
The budget for this is notably smaller than the first one, and it's not like the first one was a big budget movie, but it was still a movie. This is Jack Frost 2: Revenge of the Mutant Killer Snowman. And
in case you weren't sure,
I had seen the original Jack Frost a couple of times. We did it on the show. That was like my third time seeing it or something like that. And I have fun with the original. Yes, shut up. I have fun with the original Jack Frost. I was looking forward to doing it when we did it, and I was kind of looking forward to doing this one because I was fond of the original, thinking, it'll be more of the same. This movie is clearly made direct-to-video on a budget that doesn't exist. They're supposed to be on a tropical island on like vacation for Christmas, and everything looks like a soundstage, like a cheap soundstage. These snowman effects, which were not really that great in the first one, really, but they seem great now compared to this one. So, yes, this is Jack Frost 2. We'll get into it. This is the first time watch for both of us. Well, I assume it was anyway.
There was a few things that looked familiar. I definitely never saw the whole movie before, but I feel like I might have seen a scene here or there, either like clipped online or maybe if it was on like some weirdo like cable channel at some point. Maybe I watched like 5 minutes of it.
Sure.
But yeah, no, the first time watching the whole movie. Or should I say the Snow movie?
What did you think?
No, it's pretty terrible. I mean, obviously, like, you're not going into this expecting something great, but like you say, with the first one, it's a bit cheesier, and you go in wanting a bad movie, and I feel like it mostly delivers. Like, there's probably better examples for like bad fun stuff that you can watch. This, like, I mean, I'm not gonna say that I didn't laugh at parts, because it is very bad, and there was stuff here and there that I was like, okay,
Yeah, I agree with that, because especially early on, I actually think the opening scene's legitimately quite funny. And there is definitely moments, like the first time they introduced several characters who are like so caricaturesque, I did kind of laugh out loud at how bad they were. It kind of lost steam as it went on, though, in that sense, because once I got used to what the movie was, it stopped being funny. It just, like, I was just lost in the awfulness of it. Whereas the first film being more of an actual movie, and while the acting wasn't great, it was still better than this like phoned in direct to video thing that we've got this time round. So in the first movie, when it kept escalating and we got the bigger effects later on, where the snowman's doing wackier kills, the giant snowball, things like that, it felt like it was actually going to more fun places as it went. Whereas this, it just kind of felt like it was killing time. This 90 minutes felt like it was a 4-hour movie, to be honest. It dragged like a sumbitch. So
I think you bring up a good point when you say like actual movie, because the first one, even though it is, you know, cheesy and dumb and bad and all that stuff, it does still feel like they're trying to make a movie. Like they're trying to make something that has, you know, a coherent plot that, like, you know, has a beginning, middle, and end that ramps up and does all this stuff. Like this just feels like a lot of different vignettes of like, like, oh hey, it'd be fun if we did this. Okay, let's do it, and you know, you kind of get the sense that like the people making the movie are like, well, no one's gonna care about, you know, story and characters because obviously, I mean, it's in the title, like Revenge of the Killer Mutant Snowman. Like people are gonna watch it because they want to see a killer mutant snowman, which you honestly don't even really see that much in the movie.
No, their snowman budget was slashed, so they sort of get around it a lot at the time.
Like what I don't know if I don't remember this from the first one, but did he have like god level powers? Because it seems like in the
no he did not.
Okay, because like in the beginning of this movie, it's just like he's just like everywhere and can do anything, like he can control like water and ice and stuff, and it's like very strange.
No, I mean, he can melt down into water. He traveled through water and could reform. That was kind of the key thing. It was a very T-1000-esque like sort of rules to the snowman mythos. Yeah, and the second one though, he can seemingly like float around the air like a ghost and like get to different points, and I don't know. Yeah, the rules are all out the window, which not that I was expecting integrity from Jack Frost 2 necessarily, but honestly, the biggest problem is just kind of the overall like, production value. And it's so weird to say that, but every single scene has the production value of like a sketch on like a comedy sketch show where the sets aren't supposed to be believable. They're just kind of like, it looks vaguely like the thing, but it's clearly fake. When I was watching this with chat on stream, it was, you know, one of the suggestions that it looked like a kid's Saturday morning like TV set, like the sort of set that you'd have on one of those shows. And these are kind of apt comparisons. The whole thing just feels absurdly cheap in a way where it never. And I like cheap stuff. I love low budget movies, but there is kind of this weird line. But there is this weird line though where it still has to be a film. It still has to be people grabbed the camera and went and shot something somewhere. When you have something that feels this like fake all around the edges, like no one was trying, no one's passionate about anything. And that's the thing. It's the same director as the first movie, who also wrote this, and he also co-wrote the first one. So you suspect that you think he would be passionate, and he wanted to make a third. We'll get to what that third one would be, because the mid-credit scene does tease it. So there's a mid-credit scene, there's a post-credit scene, there's all sorts of extra goodies in this one if you want to go looking for them.
Honestly, I don't remember if I stayed and watched those. So they're not coming to my mind. So
well, you're about to find out then. Interestingly, the sheriff from the first movie does come back.
Thank God.
And it is the same actor for him, at least. I don't know if his wife or the other two that were also in the first movie were the same actors. I can't remember if they were the same actors, honestly. There's also the secret agent from the first movie comes back, and he's definitely a new actor, which I would never have remembered, but they make so many jokes about him looking different to explain the fact that they've recast the part, that obviously it is a different actor. But yeah, so I actually thought the opening scene was legitimately quite funny, which is a scene where the sheriff's at a psychiatrist's office and he's telling the story of what happened and why he's like so messed up from the previous year.
I did recognize the psychiatrist. I think it was one of Elaine's bosses from Seinfeld.
Maybe that's where I saw. I know, because I recognize his face too. I couldn't have told you where I knew him from, but
I think Mr. Pitt. I think like one of like Elaine's first bosses.
Okay. Yeah. But as he's telling the story, like the secretary and like everyone else who works at this office is like listening in through the intercom system, and laughing their ass off every time he says something. And I'm not going to lie, like when the psychiatrist himself starts laughing at some of the story, where eventually the sheriff's like, you know, and the giant snowball, and we had to fight him with hair dryers, and everyone outside the room's laughing, and you can kind of hear them vaguely. But when the psychiatrist says, "And how did you beat him again?" He's like, "Well, we used antifreeze," and the psychiatrist lets out a laugh. That was legitimately kind of funny. Like them all laughing at how ridiculous like him recounting the events of the first film are, and the idea that no one would believe anything that happened in the first movie is kind of amusing, to be honest.
Yeah. No, I tell you what I do like, and I guess they do kind of keep up with this throughout the rest of the movie, is I do like how the sheriff is like deadly serious about the whole thing. Like the movie is kind of examining like him going through like, you know, like post-traumatic stress, like from the first movie, you know, which I think is actually a kind of an interesting idea, especially like in a really like low budget, hey, it's supposed to be dumb kind of movie. I like the idea of one character always playing it straight, and then other characters just thinking, yeah, he's absolute bonkers. Like that is kind of funny, and I think something interesting worth exploring. The only thing I wasn't sure about, again, maybe I don't know if I'm misremembering the first movie, but I thought like the whole town kind of knew, like you know, yeah, like so like people know he's telling the truth, right? Like,
well, I don't think the psychiatrist in that. No, I don't think they're from the town. But I think that's one of the points to make, is that even his wife and like, the couple who go with them, like who live through this as well, even they kind of get like annoyed that he's still being kind of like, you know, he's like still shell shocked, yeah, from the previous year. They're kind of like, oh, just get over this, will you, so we can have fun.
Yeah.
But no, the town did see everything, but clearly the psychiatrist and all these people that are laughing whenever they hear the story, you know, weren't in the town.
Okay, did they move or something, or?
What? I don't know. It's a small town. You think the therapist has an office in this small tiny town? I'm sure he's getting
possibly,
therapy
I don't know.
elsewhere. I don't know. I wasn't confused by this point.
Small city folks, you know, don't know nothing about therapy. You got to go to the big city to.
Half the town got murdered. Okay, the therapist got murdered in the first movie. You had to go to another therapist the next town over.
So you kind of think that would be a big news story, though, don't you? Like, you think people would know what happened in this town?
I mean, they know a bunch of people died. Do you think anyone would believe when people on camera started talking about a killer snowman?
Hey, I believe.
Okay, all right. Well, you do believe in Bigfoot, so
yeah, very real Bigfoot.
Mm-hmm. I rest my case. So yeah, basically they're going to a tropical island for Christmas vacation because he needs to get away from anything resembling snow to hopefully snap him out of his depression. And the other couple who are, I guess they like fell for each other in the first movie. I don't remember that, but they're going to get married. They're engaged, and this is kind of their honeymoon. They plan to get married on the island. I mean, that sounds like a major plot point. It's basically nothing. It's a couple of references to it, and then they kiss at one point. It's a non-issue. Really, what this movie is once they get there, Jack Frost wakes up because someone dug up the unmarked grave that his remains were stored in, and some scientist accidentally woke him back up. And somehow he knows, like I think they try and explain it later in the movie, that his DNA got mixed with the sheriff's at one point in the first movie, so he just knows where he is. Because I was sitting thinking, like, so how does he know where to go on the planet to go find them? Because he does. He travels across the ocean. You know, he even kills a couple of guys that are in a lifeboat, like on his way to get there.
That's true.
Very odd, but yeah. And then we have a series of murders on the island, and we have a bunch of really year 2000 characters. Like, see all the college age kids?
Oh, sure.
Like. Like the guys like haircuts with the spiky blonde hair and the dumb faces, like everything about it was so 2000s. I was like getting weird flashbacks.
I did think it was kind of funny, that scene where like they're all arriving on the island and they have whatever, for some reason, like a weird like hunter like guy that like controls the island, and
the colonel,
like the colonel, and
the
like
colonel
his sidekick.
Who speaks in the following manner: "Jolly good show, yes, yes, lovely jubbly. Let's get in then. Everyone have a jolly good time, okay?"
Yeah, I love. I thought it was like funny when like all the characters are coming like off the island, and he's like, "Oh, these people are gonna learn the meaning of true friendship, and like that beauty is only skin deep," and like just going through all like kind of like the cliche characters and the lessons they're gonna learn and stuff. I was like, oh yeah, that was kind of a funny joke.
Yeah, I thought that it was kind of weird because they have like a lot of young attractive people. And it's clear that they're not proper characters; they're just there for fodder and probably boobs. Although bizarrely, this movie never actually shows boobs. It's the first one did. It's exactly the sort of movie you'd expect to have boobs, just boobing around as much as possible. But it doesn't. It was kind of weird though. They actually kill off all the young women like really quickly. Like the first like batch of deaths is like all the young women all get killed back to back, and I'm like, this is weird. I would have thought they'd have strung some of them along for a bit, just to spread out the eye candy, for lack of a better term. But they don't, so whatever.
Yeah.
They're all really stupid though. All the characters are really stupid and have no intelligence whatsoever.
Of course.
There's Captain Fun.
This guy, I could not stand. Like, I know the character is supposed to be annoying, but like, you can have an annoying character that you like to watch in a movie. This guy is just like, ugh, get away. I don't want to see you.
I laughed in the first 5 seconds of his appearance because, like, it was very clear just exactly what he is the second you see him when he starts speaking. So I sort of laughed at how over the top and on the nose he was. But yes, as time went on, it was particularly grating. He always had this over the top positive attitude. He's always saying, if when the sheriff looks down at one point, he's like, "Oh, here's a party pooper," and tries to like drive him back up to get him back in the mood. Like, come on, this is, we're in paradise. It's Christmas. Have a good time. Shut up, you positive prick.
Also, like, what a nightmare. Like, you pay to have like a relaxing, quiet vacation, and this guy is just like, like, I think, like, don't they like wake up and he's in bed with them one morning or something? Like,
he jumps in bed in between the married couple, and he's like, "Come on, you two, let's get over those hangover blues. Let's go do happy stuff." And I'm like, this is
God, too much.
Yes, this is very invasive. It's horrible. I think the sheriff here would be whipping out his badge. It's very much out of his jurisdiction, but he'd be whipping out his badge just so he could arrest this prick right in the spot for I don't know, breaking, entering, close personal touching, and I don't know what the exact law is here, but I have to imagine jumping in a hotel bed,
breaking something.
Yeah. There's definitely some boundaries being broken here. So out of nowhere, there's this character from the first movie who shows up, Agent Manners, who has retired from the FBI or wherever he was from in the first one because no one believed him in the agency that there was a killer snowman. And now he's got an eye patch. It's a different actor. And for some reason, every time he appears or like turns around or something, there's this like really generic like public domain Sting music that plays, the stinger.
Yeah.
You've all heard it before. You've heard it used in other things because it's a cheap sound effect that gets used, or music cue that gets used. But he's very serious.
Maybe we should get it for the show.
Maybe we should, yeah. Every time Tim makes a good point in that rare occasion, we'll hit the music sting. But there is one moment that actually really made me laugh with him. They're trying to cover up the fact that there's been some murders, and they don't want to tell the sheriff that anything's going on. Yeah, which for some reason the colonel seems to think that this is all in the past. We won't have to worry about this anymore. It's like, what do you mean? 3 people are dead. You found 3 bodies. These guests aren't going home. You don't think anyone's going to ask questions at any point ever? It's all in the past. We'll just forget about it. These people have families. Was it a shark that said it? Was something sillier than that. It was like a turtle crocodile or something. It was something weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think one of them says shark, and then one of them says it was something that flies. It was like a mosquito shark or something like that. They blamed it on.
Yeah.
Which, call me crazy, I'm fairly certain is not a factual thing. Just FYI.
Not that I know of.
Yes, but there's one moment where Agent Manos decides he wants the sheriff's help. So during the party that night, he shows up, but right. He does that thing where someone like comes up and talks to you from behind, says "Don't turn around," and just talks to you, right? And you've seen this in like thrillers, you've seen it in other movies, but in this, like, and I don't know if this is intentional, like satire, or if they're just this like brain dead that they didn't know how to do this properly. But he's literally like right behind him. It's very intimate. It's just like he's getting ready to hug him and like caress him from behind. But he's like right up behind. He's like, "Don't turn around. It's good to have you with us, Sheriff." Yeah, I'll be there later. And because they have a costume party later, and he walks in wearing a trench coat and like a hat and sunglasses. In fact, that's the other thing. He's wearing sunglasses in this because he's got an eye patch and sunglasses on as he's like standing behind him. But he's wearing this like trench coat later, and the sheriff who's in like a hippie outfit. It's like, oh, isn't this a little on the nose? Like, no. In the agency, we call this a reverse double. A reverse double.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, the movie's really stupid. What do you want from me? It goes on forever.
Yeah, I mean, I think like you were kind of saying before, like early on, like it's not like I was digging it, but I was having a bit of fun with it. Like I was like, okay, obviously it's very stupid, but maybe I'm gonna get a chuckle here and there. But like you said, it really starts dragging. I think kind of maybe around this point, maybe a little bit before the halfway point, or I guess maybe around the time when the little mini baby Jack Frosts or whatever show up.
Spoilers! Come on now, come on.
Sorry, I mean we just like went through like half the movie anyway, but
I was saving like the back half at least. Come on now.
But I feel like it just starts to get really slow or overstay its welcome, or the joke wears thin, whatever you want to say, and it ends up becoming more of a chore to watch. And yeah, by the end I was just ready for it to be like, okay, I get it, I get what you're doing, just that's enough. And again, it's because it's like this, we like the bad cheesy movies, but again, it's like there's a level where of like earnestness with that makes like a bad movie good. Like when someone's trying to do something like this where it's like, well, let's do something stupid on purpose, like let's be over the top on purpose, and the acting's gonna be bad and the effects are gonna be bad, and it's all on purpose, like it just loses a lot of its effect and charm, and it's just not as entertaining to watch.
Yeah, that I mean, ultimately that's what it feels like. It feels like, well, the first one obviously is intentionally not meant to be a serious movie. It's it's very lighthearted. It's having fun with what it's doing. This one's kind of into your, like anything Tommy Wiseau's done post The Room, where he's intentionally like trying to make something funny because he knows that's what people liked about The Room. It doesn't work because it's not. It's because they're in on the joke. It doesn't work anymore, and that's ultimately because I remember I was getting to like maybe the 55-minute mark and realizing there was still 35 minutes to go, and I was just kind of like, how is there 35 minutes left of this? It feels like it's ready to end. So we're there, and there's a whole segment, and it kind of prolongs itself. So I mean, we'll say. Yeah, we'll go into spoilers, I think, just so we can talk about the rest of it. Not that anyone cares, I don't think, about spoilers for Jack Frost 2. But I will take this time to thank our Patreon producers at the time of recording. So thank you to Tyler Hess, Cindy Palacios, David Short, Born Now, Al Tribesman, Christopher Moy, Brett Williams, and David Brown. That is our Patreon producers for the month. Meaning you're $20 or more on patreon.com/MailFuzzTV, and you can support us over there too for as little as $1 per month. And get bonus content, including access to the back catalogue of all the extra bonus episodes that we've done on streams. New episodes of that are on hold for a little bit whilst Tim's going on paternity leave, but you get access to all the old episodes. $5 tier still gets you early access by a day to the new episodes of streams, as well as other stuff that we do for MailFuzz TV. So go and have a look and see if you want to help all the content coming. And thank you very much. So go have a look. And of course you can support us for free by hitting the like button and commenting, subscribing, all those usual things. And they do help a lot. The like button is actually quite important, annoyingly, on YouTube. It doesn't seem like it is, but it actually does help a lot with YouTube recommending us out and helping the channel grow and helping the show grow. So please do. So
yeah, it's tax deductible too.
That is a lie. Do not listen to Tim.
It's basically like giving to charity. You can write it off on your taxes.
Do not listen to Tim. You'll get into some legal bother. So full spoilers there for Jack Frost 2. Just as other things in the first half that we didn't really talk about, just like the actual, like, for some reason the Snowman can now, and even though it's the same actor, because I actually checked because I thought the voice sounded different. It's not. It's the same actor. I guess the direction's just different, or he doesn't sound as good this time. But it didn't. The voice didn't sound as good to me. But we have these like two idiots on like a life raft that he kills, and this is how he gets his carrot, because they have a carrot in their cooler.
But I was kind of confused by this, because doesn't he kill one of them with a carrot?
Yeah, I thought
like
that
the carrot
too.
Comes up through the raft.
I don't think it's a carrot.
But then he grabs the carrot.
Yeah, I think what he does is he stabs him with an icicle, because we see him later on, he can make icicles. So I think it's an icicle that he stabs him with through the raft. Okay. And then he takes the carrot, because he says, "Thanks for the nose," as he swims on.
Okay, yeah, that makes a lot more sense. But yeah, because it looked like a carrot that was coming through, and I was like, all right, so does he already have a carrot, but then he needs a carrot? And I don't know.
I think it was icicle plus blood on it made you think carrot. I think that's what's happened.
Makes sense.
But I mean, I'm not trying to defend the movie here. Right? I'm giving you the interpretation of this scene that makes some sense.
Yeah. And like a lot of this stuff early on is just this kind of disembodied like voice that's just like floating through like water and stuff that I don't. Yeah, it makes it feel like very different than like the first one, which again, I feel like we see a lot more like just like actual Snowman and stuff. And I do like the idea of him like having to like reclaim his body parts, but I don't know, they don't really do anything that exciting.
Well, yeah, I thought because it was set on a tropical island that was warm, that there was going to be some inventive mechanics of like how he's able to form in this climate. It turns out he just has god powers that can make it snow. Yeah. Like that's basically it. He can do so much more stuff in this one that just makes it feel like there's no rules. And I know, like, I'm not taking that too seriously, but the first one still had like a general kind of idea of what he could and couldn't do. And you know, and the way they killed him in the first one doesn't work in this one, just for whatever reason. There's like no real reason why it doesn't work this time. It just hurts him a little bit instead. But yeah, when he kills the sort of college girls who are fighting over the guys and are really kind of
like the two like doofiest looking guys,
the two most 2000 era looking college guys who are just like whoa,
and like yeah, they have like they do, at least they do have some like great dialogue where they just sit around a campfire saying, I got Ben, no, I got him, no, I got him. Like, it's like great.
Yes, the line that stuck out to me is, if Ben were flirting with me any harder, he'd be arrested. That was a wonderful line. But speaking of things that may not have aged well, is there's not a lot of this, but there's like a model there with a photographer, and the photographer is, I mean, maybe I'm going out on the limb here, Tim, but I believe he might be gay. I just
really
sneak suspicion that the raging stereotypes that they've got going with this character suggest that he might in fact like a bit of dick.
Yeah, a wee bit over the top, you might say.
A wee bit. Yeah. I love how when you say wee bit, it sounds like you're doing a Leprechaun reference, and
well, maybe I am. I don't know.
Because I can say wee bit because it's just something that people say from my neck of the woods. But when you say it, it sounds like you're trying to do a Leprechaun reference.
Maybe. I mean, it doesn't hurt that, it feels nice in my mouth.
A little bit, it does.
When I say it.
A wee bit over the top. Yes, a wee bit over the top.
Yeah. And I love like the weird like I think it's a supermodel that's like flirting with the I think like the neighbor guy or whatever.
Yeah, the middle-aged guy who's like getting married to this other woman who, and they're both kind of like normal middle-aged looking, average looking people, right? And then this supermodel's kind of like for some reason very attracted to him and like pushing her breasts into him, and I mean, it's really just there for comedy, so we can have like the wife to be like he's taken and like there.
Yeah.
Cause I think she like kneecaps her like her fiance, like because he's sort of looking at the supermodel and he just falls down out of frame and she's like, he's taken. I'm like, what did you do to him?
Yeah.
Like did you like stab him in the back of the knee to make him fall? Like what? But it's very cartoony, which I mean I guess fits some of the movie, but anyway, so the college girls when they die, so Jack Frost he drops like icicles from like a tree. Like sorry. First of all, one leaves the campfire to go look for charcoal, and he's left out a trail of charcoal like breadcrumbs, as if he's like luring someone to a trap. And then he has icicles spot, and I was kind of into this scene because I thought, oh, if there's more of this sort of stuff, I might be into this because he kills the first one with the icicles, but then when the second or third girl comes by and you're expecting another icicle, it's actually a giant snow anvil, and I thought, okay, it's a cartoon at this point, but that was slightly amusing because it was a snow anvil.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that creativity kind of doesn't really persist.
Yeah.
Throughout the film, but I wanted to mention the snow anvil because it was a bit amusing.
It stand out, yeah.
Yeah, it was. Because some of the other ones where there's a woman swimming in the pool and he just kind of freezes the top of the pool so she drowns. It's like, okay, it's not really a fun death. Doesn't really.
Yeah, I mean, I guess out of everything, I mean, that one did kind of affect me more because it seemed like the most realistic. Like, you know, like getting like, you know, trapped under ice and then like trying to pound your way through. I was like, oof, like. Yeah, it feels very claustrophobic and shitty. But
more realistic than the snow anvil. What are you saying?
I would say so.
Of course, they try and kill him once they realize he's there, and Jack Frost has like made it snow on the island, so everything's covered in snow now. All of a sudden, they realize he's there.
No one really seems to care.
Yeah, no one. Yeah, everyone
except for the sheriff.
Yeah, the sheriff's the one who thinks this is a bit weird, and it's like, wait, you're literally in like a tropical island where it literally has never snowed ever.
Yeah.
You know, this is a bit odd, everyone. And sure enough, Jack Frost starts causing chaos and killing people. They fight back. They're able to find some antifreeze, which at first they think they're screwed because why would there be any antifreeze here? But it turns out it's the same thing as this. I even remember what they said. It was something they used for some of the drinks or something like that. But it's like, okay, so we've got this stuff, and they load up water guns. They like make a trap in the pool, this little paddle pool, to like, you know, trap him in this. But it doesn't actually kill him. He kind of melts and stuff, and he looks really weird. Which, by the way, we should mention that when he eventually does like show up as a snowman, which takes a while, it looks terrible. Like it's such a cheap outfit. Like
it's awful.
It just looks like foam. It's really bad. Later on, when like he explodes, what's left behind looks like it looks like a shaving foam mixed with like bubbles from like, you know, when you're washing the dishes. It's like this isn't snow. There's nothing about this that looks like snow.
And I thought what was like funny about that scene too is like they just had like a little bit to cover the floor, and then when the guy's like looking for his wife, it's like she would be standing out so much. Like there's not that much stuff there. But if she was alive, you would see like a pretty big mass.
Yes, because the secret weapon, of course, is that the killer's allergic to bananas, which is carried over into Snowman form, so bananas make him explode, which they find out because after this scene, he vomits up a snowball, and the snowball becomes living and violent and has teeth, and it gets very Critters-esque, Gremlins. There's even a montage at one point where there's a bunch of these snowballs like having drinks and, you know, doing Gremlins-esque shenanigans.
I thought the snowballs were cute, I'll admit.
This is the thing. From a wide shot, they clearly do not move or have any animation, and they're just balls that the actors are like holding, or they're in the background. And the close-ups, when they are moving, this CGI is like, I can't even, like, some of the CG in this is absolutely disgusting. You've got
it looks like screensavers and stuff, like
like the snowball looks like that. The one that really got me is, I think it's after he's coughed up the snowball, Jack Frost disappears by falling into the snow, but there's this like CGI splat as he falls into the snow, which again, he's snow, he's not a liquid. But it was like, oh, that looked nasty. Oh.
Now, one thing that I did think was kind of funny is when they start killing all the little snowballs and everything, like they are like way too gleeful about it. Like, it doesn't feel like they're like, oh, this is a desperate situation. We got to do what we got to do. They're like laughing and having a good time. They're like sticking in the blenders and like, just like so overjoyed with themselves. That is kind of funny that they're just like overly excited about that because they're making like cute little little baby noises and stuff.
That's right, they speak
like,
when they kill people and stuff, they say like a one word in a little baby voice, so like killing kind of thing. Yes. Because I think when they realize it's dangerous, it's because it kills Captain Fun. I think he gets wiped out by he's the death because of the snowball. And that's when they sort of start fighting back. And for some reason, their plan to like use the banana thing once they realize that bananas kill them is that they make a giant banana daiquiri. And there's like a montage of them like, and I don't know about you, but there was something really disgusting about like 50 bananas being mushed together in this big drum. I was like, oh, this kind of. And I like bananas, but just seeing them all mushed together like this was kind of disgusting. Like,
yeah, it's not great.
Stop it. I'm more disgusted by this than anything else in the movie. Stop it. There's a lot of really over-the-top serious stuff, though, with like Agent Manners, who has like a water gun filled with antifreeze, and then maybe later they've got like bananas, like daiquiri in them or whatever. But there's a couple of moments where he'll like cock the water gun and you'll get a sound effect as if it's an actual shotgun, and it's like, what are you doing? Like, why is this clicking like an actual gun? No. He does die though. Agent Manners does not make it out at the end of the film, unfortunately.
Such a shame.
Yeah. But the sheriff does get his big moment where he gets to blow up Jack Frost because he has a banana at the end of an arrow, which he then fires with a bow. He fires, because earlier on in the film there's some teasing of this, where they're getting like archery lessons. It's like a fun, holiday thing. They'll learn how to do a little bit of archery. So at the end of the film, he uses this by taping a banana to the end of the arrow, and this is what makes Jack Frost explode. And there you go. They've saved the day. Jack Frost has been defeated.
Yeah. Merry Christmas.
Yes. Although the post-credit scene shows that the other couple were hiding in a freezer, and they're still there after the credits.
Oh, I did see that, actually, yeah. I forgot about that.
They're just yelling for like, hey, we're still here. It's very cold. As whatever. The mid-credit scene, though, is the tease for what the third movie was supposed to be, according to the director, which is Jackzilla, where...
Oh, actually, I did see this. Yes. Okay, all right.
So it teases it. So again, awful CG here, where there's this boat that gets crushed and the water splashes, and it is like, I can't really describe how bad this is. Like the CG here is like, I mean, if everyone's been watching myself and Tara's reviews of Babylon 5, and we talk a lot about how the CG on that's not that great. It's mid-90s TV, and it was done on an Amiga computer. This is like 10 times worse than anything that's on that show. This is like laughable how silly bad this CG looked at this boat being crushed and the water splashing.
Yeah. It's bad.
Sometimes I'll leave it for Tim to respond, and it's like a deer in the headlights or deer in the headlights. Like.
Yeah, like I don't know. It just looked like a I don't know, it looked like they just like dropped like a carrot on a like toy ship or something. Like I don't know. It was bad, but
it looked like the pre-visualization you do before you actually do the visual effects, like just the sort of like the block shapes to represent what it's going to be eventually. That's what it looked like to me. But yeah, so you get a big shadow and the sort of POVs looking down at them. And it's like, okay, giant Jack Frost for some reason, no explanation, of course, just. I suppose that was supposed to come in the third one if it ever get made, which it didn't, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, I think given the sensitivity, this movie had towards like portraying like other cultures and stuff, I'm kind of glad that they didn't do, another movie based on like a Japanese monster formula.
That's a good point. There is a joke here at the end where the two Japanese characters on the boat are dubbed in English, but they're speaking Japanese, so they still look like an imported film.
Yeah.
Which I don't necessarily think there's anything super dodgy about that in and of itself. It's more making fun of dubbed films than it is a cultural weirdness. But admittedly, yes, given everything else in this movie, I wouldn't be expecting a great portrayal of anyone, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, are we done? Tim's clearly out of steam here in this one.
Trying to think of any other big kills or anything that we missed. I mean, another thing that like just makes it like a lot less fun is like even if like some of the ideas are for like kills and stuff like are like kind of stupid, but hey, that might be kind of funny to see. But there's like the lack of like gore and special effects just make it like not even really worth it most of the time. Like I mentioned the snow anvil before, like that is cool, but you just see it kind of falling. You don't actually see it like crushing the person's head. Like if you see it coming down and like crushing them and then blood spreading out and then there's blood in the snow and stuff, like that would be cool. And then like it's just a very, I don't know, very bloodless movie, so even like the kills and stuff you can't really get too much behind.
Yeah, there's not a lot of bite in it to the point where if it wasn't for maybe like I think there was maybe like a swear word at some point, but I was actually thinking it could be PG-13, honestly.
Oh sure.
Yeah, because it was avoiding any nudity. It didn't feel like the kills were that violent. They were just kind of silly. Yeah. So I definitely could see that. So it unfortunately doesn't have a whole lot to offer. And it is kind of a regret. Whereas the first one, I'll happily go back and watch again. I think the first Jack Frost is a fun time, a fun B-movie time.
Yeah, I think there's like if you look in stuff like the wintry, Christmassy season, I think there's definitely better bad movies you can check out. But it's like I would say avoid the first one. It's like it's a fun enough B movie. This, it's just like I feel like maybe you can watch it for 5 minutes and kind of get the idea, maybe skip around and look at like a few clips online or something, but I don't think you need to watch the whole movie.
Yeah. Were you getting any weird flashbacks to Extent we did last summer? I was getting a lot of parallels in the plot because they're coming to a tropical island. There's a really bad Jamaican accent from one character.
I did not think about that. I can totally see where that's going. For me, it was a Jaws 4: The Revenge. That's what it was popping in my mind when I watched it.
Okay. I get it. Yeah. I mean, I stick up for the first one more than you do. I think the first one's a good fun time for what it is. This one, I would not recommend. I would say skip it. It's a shame. The poster's pretty good as well. But Joe, I would describe the snowballs. Actually, I was thinking of this as I was watching it. Is that there's a lot of gremlins and critters in them, but I was also at times getting the balls from Phantasm. It's kind of like a cross between those things. There's the balls from Phantasm crossed with critters. That's your snowballs in this. And I guess since you have little Jack Frost in this, it makes sense the third one would be giant Zilla Jack Frost, but alas, the thought of what that would look like with the budget that this one had, unfortunately, I don't think it would ever have been worth pursuing, but here we are. That is Jack Frost 2, Revenge of the Mutant Killer Snowman. Tim, you have to rate the film.
I think I'll give it a 3. I'm not gonna go like all the way down to a 2, just because I did laugh throughout the movie a couple of times. So I think it mostly is a chore to get through, and there's not that much to really hang on to there. But despite all that, there was like parts here and there where I did laugh, so I can't go like completely down, but I mean, there also really isn't that much to recommend either, so 3 it is.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty fair score. I'm kind of weighing up in my head. Because it's definitely a worse. Like, it's definitely not the worst thing I've ever had to sit through.
Sure.
And it's definitely not good either. I mean, arguably it was never going to be good, but it wasn't like fun bad, other than a couple of maybe moments that kind of worked. But I think the way I was thinking about it as I was watching it is that it's not a funny movie, but it occasionally accidentally is funny. Occasionally it'll stumble into something that's actually kind of funny. But for the most part, it's just kind of awkwardly bad comedy that doesn't work. But I don't hate it as much. Yeah, so I'm going to agree with the 3, because I don't think I hate it enough to like give it a 2. Because when I think of the movies that I've given a 2 to, I don't think I hate this as in the same level as this. Even though this did feel like a chore after a certain point. Like the back half of it dragged so much, where I'm so ready for this to be over. And I think, you know, when I was watching it on stream, you could sort of see that I was laughing quite a bit in the first 20 minutes, mostly because I was just laughing at how unbelievably like cheap and bad it looked and was. But after a while, that stopped being funny. After a while, it was like, okay, now I'm just watching a really boring bad movie.
Yeah, no, that can only get you through so far. Like, yeah, that's funny for 10-15 minutes, and then after a while it's like, okay, now you either need to like do something to like, go like really over the top and wow me, or introduce like just some absolute crazy nonsense to keep me hooked.
I think this comes back to it being nerd. I think if the kills were really gory and stupid, I think that would be when it would start to keep the fun up, even once the factor of, oh, this is so cheap and nasty looking wears off. Yeah. But it doesn't. So once that wears off, there's nothing left for you. It's just this cheap, neutered film. So there you go. That's Jack Frost 2, Revenge of the Mutant Killer Snowman. If you made it this far into the review, put the word snowball into the comments. Okay. It's not that good, but I don't have anything else for you. What do you want from me? This is the first time we're recording on this early Sunday recording session. I cannot be asked for gold quite yet. But yes, put the word snowball into the comments. Let us know you got to the end here. Tim's going to do his pose for the thumbnail. So here we go. 3, 2, 1, pose. Okay. There we go. That'll work. And this is a really awkward time for me to add any new segments to the show, because we've recorded like so many episodes that are coming after this. So it'll be after the Christmas episodes. You'll probably never see this again for a while. But something that stuck out to me as I was watching this, because I was getting bored in the back half, so I started looking at the IMDb.
Okay.
And I was looking at the user reviews on IMDb for this. I'm going to read you. So this review is from 22nd of February 2001 from a user called Scars Theme. The title of the review is Shoestring Genius. Now it's quite long, but I'm just going to read you one paragraph here that stuck out to me. Being able to recapture exactly the same sense of cheesy ineptitude without overdoing it was always going to be a tricky task. Cooney succeeds in fine style, principally by following the established blueprint of an entirely new location, in this case a tropical island, natural stalking ground for a snowman. I started looking, and I wasn't reading the reviews too much, but I was looking at kind of just the ratings and the titles of the reviews. JC Doe 2 from the 14th of December 2000, 10 out of 10, absolutely hilarious, a delicious B movie.
Jeez.
Matt Dixon 64 from the 29th of September 2001, what a classic film. These are just the titles of the reviews. There's paragraphs to go with these, but which I'm not reading. But
yeah. I mean, I wonder how old some of these people are, because if I saw this when it first came out and I was like, I don't know, 13, 14 at the time or whatever. Was it 2001?
The movie came out in 2000, but these reviews
2000. Okay, yeah. So I would have. Okay, so like I would have been 14. So I'm sure if I watched it with my friends there, we would have been cracking up, and I would have been like, "Oh man, this is such a great bad movie." But, I think anyone who's been around the block a while, would not think that.
Yeah, for From the 23rd of January 2001, from Stalker19, one of the funniest movies of last year, 10 out of 10.
Jeez.
IMDb has some interesting takes. I'll say that. And to be fair, there are some reviews here that are saying it's terrible and whatnot. But yes, there's some very... Yes. I will say this, though. This review speaks to me. 1 out of 10 from Brian McCann. This is from the 14th of October 2017, so this is a relatively recent review. Mm-hmm. The first was amazing. This one is a disaster. Feels very passionate.
Wow.
So there you go. That is something that may come back, especially when we do a bad movie. I might have a glance at the IMDb user reviews to see if there's anything juicy to glean. But that is Jack Frost 2, Revenge of the Mutant Killer Snowman. Obviously we mentioned Patreon earlier, patreon.com/MailFuzzTV, as well as liking, subscribing, all the usual things. Rating the podcast on iTunes, give us 5 stars and a review. That'd be very helpful. Thank you, please. Thank you very much for watching or listening. We always appreciate it. Hopefully you're looking forward to 2 more Christmas movies because they're coming your way. So thank you very much. Keep watching scary movies and we will see you next time.